Hello. This video shows an example of the use of Storm's API. Back to the evaluation process. Consider the goal for this video is to add a toolbar button that logs into the output specific property values, for example, for this task. Okay? As we see, this task, which is this task from here, have a specific ID. And here we have our toolbar with different buttons or called commands. So our goal is to add this button, which obtains the task for this diagram and shows some properties into the output, some property values. So in order to do this, we just have to create an implementation of a menu dep command. Doing this and adding concrete CDI scope specifications, this component, this button, finally will be able, as we can see here. So once doing that, on the execute, we can just obtain the graph. The graph is obtained from the current session. So when you open a diagram, you got a session. A session, you have a graph, for example, this BPMN graph. In the session as well, you have different things. You have the selection controls, you have zoom controls. So from this session, from the client side, you can control how the diagram is currently presented to the user. For example, we can get the graph from the session, and once having that graph, we can get that node. We know that node is a user task. It's composed by the user task. So finally, once we have the node, we can get its definition. That will return our user task. So at this point, these 3 lines of code are returning our Java bean for this element. So at this point, we can just get its name, or we can just get its color. And once that, we can just do an output logging, printing the name and printing the value. So if you look here, for example, open the Chrome inspector, we can just click here and we will see the HR name for this element is HR evaluation. Oh, sorry, for this one is HR evaluation, and the background color is this one. So for example, if I open this task and I say this is the HR evaluation B2, for example, and now I click here, I have that this node, the content for this node, the name has changed to the HR evaluation V2. So finally, just using CDI and its extensions and just using some lines of code, you are able to introspect all the diagram elements that compose your session.